Oh yeah. Yeah, it's plenty cold. So I lost electricity on that side of my shop. It's too freaking cold to crawl underneath this building and find out what's wrong. I lost electricity on this side, but my machines are working on that outlet. My machines are working over here. Let me just double check, make sure I'm not lying. Okay. So I'm pretty sure what's happened is this here has burned out because I had my 1500 watt. People don't realize how much juice these things take. So I'm going to unplug this. I'm going to look in it and see if it's something I can quickly repair, because I have this thing pretty hard mounted and wired behind everything, and it's going to be a son of a gun to move it or replace it. So I've got this heater on. I just cranked it up, and I'm probably going to plug this in under there for now. I just got to heat it up. I mean, it's 25 degrees in here and my hands are like ice, and I already got arthritis in this hand. These two fingers are the only two fingers that I can reliably use, and these somewhat. And when it gets cold, just forget it, because my left hand is useless. All right, I'm going to plug that in over here, take that apart, see what's wrong. My goal for today is to get the handles on this neck knife, get this cleaned up, and get the handles epoxied on, and take this apart and see if that sharp finger, see if I got that bow out of there. I got my shims in there. I guess we can do that right now while you're watching. What was that other shim? There we go. If I didn't get the bow out, I have to redo it with some thicker shims. All right, I'm gonna put my, I feel just a minor bow in there, but I'm gonna put my straight edge on there. And if it's less than a 16th, I don't bother with it. You'd never be able to visually see it, and it doesn't affect the handles or the use of the knife. So let me get my straight edge on there. Yeah, it's right at my my cutoff, I guess you'd say. For it's just a little too much. So I've doubled my shims, and I'm going to run it through my temper one more time, and that should completely take the bow out. Basically what you do is, let's say you have a 1/16 inch bow. You want to shim it in the opposite direction, 1/8 of an inch, and then the heat treatment, you basically lose a 1/16 of an inch when it comes back to cool. So then it will be perfectly straight. So that's what we got. Okay, put this in there for a couple hours. And then as soon as it warms up in here, I gotta warm my epoxy up and everything. I'm gonna work on cleaning this up, and I'm not gonna be in here long. It's just too cold. All right, see you in a bit. All right, now I'm beginning to think that there's something wrong with this. When I plug it in, I have this extension cord run to an outlet that's in the, not the shop part, but the trailer part. And I have an extension cord running here, and this light, when I plug it in, let me see if I can do this one-handed. Yeah, you can see the light's working, but this isn't. So I wonder if this is what caused, see, I had this plugged into the other side. I wonder if there's something in here that has caused my electrical issues. So it seems to, it's not running at all. So it's, I don't know. I just got to take stuff apart, and this ain't working. But then again, it's plugged into this. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to find another heater. I got one somewhere here, and plug it in here and see if I can start getting warmed up in here, because I just can't use my fingers till it warms up. And when it warms up a little bit, then I'm gonna unplug that, take it off the wall, take it apart, and just see if I can find a fuse that's blown. You know, this is usually that does it. It's a breaker, you know. And it's got one too. Is that on? Well, wait a minute now. You know what? There's something wrong with this. This is what's screwing up, because see my lights working? These weren't working when this was plugged in. So there's something wrong with this. That's now working. Good deal. All right, problem solved so far. Now, boy, that's not something you want to leave running while you're gone, that's for sure. All right, let me go find another heater and get that started, and then I'm going to look on the other side and start following wires inside here. I'm going to pull the covers off and see if maybe the outlets are burned out. And then if the outlets seem fine, I'm going to go into my box here and take the face of the electrical box right there off. Because I can't imagine I went anywhere else with these wires. I'm pretty sure I went up there with the wires. And see if the wires both burned out at the same time. Because this outlet that's behind the trash can, these don't work. Plugged in an outlet here. And this doesn't work. So, half my problem solved now. It was that stinking heater, and that's probably what caused my problems. Alrighty, I'll be back in a minute. All right, this heater is working. Plugged into this. Now, let me turn this off for a second. Plug it into this. Yeah. Okay. All right, I'm gonna leave that plugged in. So, all right, let me just start. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna leave it on. I'm gonna put my adhesive up here to warm up. In the meantime, I'm gonna clean that. Boy, I tell you, clean this up. Get it all sanded up and clean and pretty. And then get these epoxied on. I have to sand the nose of these and buff them up. Alrighty, and then I'm gonna look into the electric. It'll be warm enough in here where I can probably take my jacket off and move around a little bit. Okay, we'll be back. I made the omelet to end all omelets this morning. You know, I say that every omelet, but for some reason this morning's omelet was just freaking delicious. It was green pepper, red pepper, chili verde, chili rojo, cebolla, and hash browns. I don't know how to say hash browns in Spanish. Cuatro huevos and queso, cheese, Swiss cheese, and some hot sauce. Oh God, it was a good omelet. So, all right, here I got these cleaned up, sanded, buffed. Look at that. Here, let me put it in the sun. Doesn't matter. You can't see it any better there, can you? All right, what about this? That's gonna be pretty, huh? Well, that's what the wood's gonna look like. I gotta warm the wood up too. And then when I finish sanding the knife, I'm gonna put that in front of the heater, warm it up, then clamp it all together and take it to the house and let it cure overnight in the heat. Anyway, here we go. I'm gonna start sanding. Oh, I got a project coming. A friend of mine has a kind of an old, interesting axe. And this friend is disabled, and like me, you know, so what I mean is we don't have money. Anyway, I'm gonna clean this axe head up and put a real good edge on it and then handle it. and for free, because this person's a good friend of mine, like family. And but it'll be a nice little project, and I'll show you when it gets here what we're fixing to do. In the meantime, I'm looking for some straight grained hickory that has to be about 24 inches long and about 1.75 inches square, or maybe bigger. So if anybody's got anything like that, hook me up, because this is going to be a pro bono project, and if you want to help out, I'd appreciate it. Otherwise, I'm just going to be scouring. I have some axe handles that, some handles, some replacement handles, but they're not big enough for this. It's a circular axe head, about that big, and it's going to take at least 1.25 inches. It looks like in the picture about maybe 1.375 inches, 1.5 inches perhaps, that I can shape. And anyway, it's coming. She won't be able to mail it till probably Monday or Tuesday, and this is Saturday, and I won't probably get it till the end of the week, so I got a lot of time to look for the perfect piece of wood for it. All right, let me get to sanding. The other day I had 2 pairs of socks on, and still my feet were freezing. So I put some wool socks in my cart at Amazon, and it's just hard for me to pull the trigger on $20 freaking for socks. Something you can't use, you can't screw in anything with, you can't turn a wrench with, you never see them, they're not fun. So maybe I'll just leave them there till spring gets here. But anyway, so I'm going to be alternately roasting my feet and then sanding. So I got to let my toes thaw out, and then I'm getting back to work. Finally, it only took about 2 hours. But, that's not bad for a little electric heater and that running in tandem. Considering it was, just a little over 20. It was like 22, maybe 24. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to tell on this. So let's see. That's 30. Yeah, it was like right at 24, 22, 24, right in there. So 60 is comfortable. I can almost take my jacket off and call my wife and tell her to release my hound, and he can come down here and hang out. But I got this done. It's going to take me an hour. I got to wait for that other one to come out of the tempering oven. And maybe I'll go home and bring this home and set it on my desk in the house, and then hang around a little bit. By the time the other knife will be ready, because that one's going to get buffed out, and I'm going to get these put on it. And that's what I'm going to do. We'll be back. Well, I opened that up, and just to see if maybe the outlet was burned out, but the odds of both outlets burning out are very slim. So I flipped this breaker on and off, in the box, I mean, and it doesn't appear to do anything. I don't know what it's connected to. It doesn't shut anything off. So I just don't know what to think. I'm gonna go out in my other shop and see if I got a breaker that looks like this. I can just try it and see if maybe the breaker's bad. That's all I can think of, besides climbing up under there and seeing if there's something wrong. All right, let me go to the other shop, see if I got one. Well, it ain't the breaker, although I did find something similar. I could only, I only need to use half of it, but I just tested this. Let me see if I can do this with one hand. No, I doubt I can. Let me see if I got my tripod handy. Yeah, I'm stumped, but you know, I mean, I have, you know, I have an extension cord. I really need to get under here and see where I have those wires run, where I picked that power up from. And I don't see any wires in here that I added myself. So it's got to come from somewhere else and I just don't know. You know, I have a box out here on that pole. And I have 2 boxes in one of the bedrooms here, that my buffing room actually. And one of them was for a generator, and the other one has a whole bunch of breakers taped off. So I just don't know. And honestly, I don't feel like taking the time. It's just so uncomfortable outside this room that I just don't feel like getting cold. So that's all I'm going to do. I'm going to stick that breaker back in there, hook it back up, close that panel up. And I'll just live with an extension cord until it warms up and I can get under there and follow the wires. All right, I got this. This finally is, the warp is imperceptible. I mean, we're talking a 32nd of an inch, you know, if that. And once you get the handles on and clamped and epoxied, it's not even noticeable. All right, so I think I'm gonna go home. Yeah, it's like 3 in the afternoon. I got a really late start. I'm gonna get out here early tomorrow, and this is gonna take a whole lot of buffing because I didn't buff it before I heat treated it. I'm having I'm not having electricity, and the fact that it's so cold out here, I'm sort of cutting back on how much time I spend down here. It costs a lot of money to heat it up, and you know, it's going to warm up. Next week is going to be warm, but I got a doctor appointment. I think it's Thursday, the 23rd, and it's this doctor here. So there's a whole day wasted, and then I don't know what the next day after that. You know, I really want to get surgery, get healed up, and get back. I'm just so tired of this hanging over my head. You know what I mean? I've already decided that I'm not going to reconnect. I'm just not, because for 3 years now they haven't been able to tell me definitively what's going on back yonder. And you know, I just had what I have left scoped, and he still couldn't tell me whether, you know, I had anything going on in there that would prevent me from getting hooked up. And I don't want to take the risk. I was so sick for so long, to the point where I was pretty sure I was going to die, and they were concerned as well. And I'd rather live with this the rest of my life than go back through that. You know, this is embarrassing, and it's a nuisance. And, you know, it prevents me from going lots of places that I don't want this thing to make noise. You know, it farts whenever it feels like it. And, you know, there's certain places you just don't want that to happen. Church, weddings, bar mitzvahs. Anyway. Alrighty, I am going home. I'm going to take this home with me. That way I don't have to run that all night. See you tomorrow. Have a good Sunday, y'all.